Morning folks, Ariel over at Nyth here. It is Easter morning actually. Just going to do a quick update around my house. My driveway here, my lane is looking a little better. My friend came over with his tractor and kind of squished all the ruts flat yesterday, and it's drying out, so it's kind of staying. Most of the snow is melted up toward my solar panels. The yard actually looked a lot more bare of snow, but it was so nice and warm yesterday that I went through with my shovel and kind of spread out some of the biggest piles that still remained from, where it was shoveled to all winter. Those big corner piles that were so terribly tall, kind of helped spread the remains of them around, just because I am impatient for spring. But there is green grass coming in the spots. I guess you can see it best if you look over there past the house, the spots that have been melted out for a few days now. The grass is actually looking quite green. Garden's still mostly covered. We'll go over there in a minute, but that's partly because it's still pretty shaded at this time of year. My raspberry patch does have some new growth coming. If I can find, out of the bottom here, there is, I don't know what shade the camera can see, there is little green soft leaves coming out there, and the bottoms of a few other of the plants. So while I think the winter killed all the older canes, I think I'm going to get something growing. It's just the littlest start, so I'm hopeful that as it warms up here a little more, I'm going to see more shoots coming up out of there. Again, I've got my freshly spread out snow over here. Got the starts of daffodils, iris, several other kinds of bulbs, some poppies, that kind of thing coming up in these little beds. Put a couple of my snow blocks back on top of my planters to keep them wet and make them melt out quicker last night as I was doing that shoveling. Down here you might be able to see and hear the creek that is below my house. I don't know how well you can see it flowing through the trees there. It doesn't show up very well because it's so brown at this time of year. But you can probably hear that it's moving at a pretty good clip, and if it stays warm and sunny like this, by the end of the day it'll be moving even faster. Here's some of my local pets. I've got a big ant mound right here off to the side of the house. You can see the little dark shapes scurrying back and forth on there. It's a pretty good sized mound in the brush. Still got old moose poop. Had a chipmunk running around here a second ago, but I guess he hid from me. Some little brush. This stuff's just wild. Does have little green leaves coming out on it, which is neat. And like I said, if you look along the back here, the yard, this is all just natural grasses and stuff that was growing between the lower brush that I mowed off to make an open space. These are turning green. The garden is kind of from that snow line back. You can see the water pipe across the front of it. So it's starting to melt out. Did seem to get a lot of mole tunnels this winter. This I have not seen right here before. The ground's pretty rocky, as you can see, and they haven't seemed to like it in the past. I've always had lots of mice tunnels, but not the moles and voles. So hopefully they're not setting up too big a residence that's going to damage my garden too much. Over here I do have the very first thing that comes up in the spring. You can see one little start of a garlic shoot there. That was fun. There's a few more under the snow. Most of them are still buried in snow, but I was digging because I was impatient. They are about the first thing that comes up in the spring. You can see the house from this angle. And really most of the snow is gone except for those couple big piles that I worked at spreading out yesterday. So I bet by the end of the day they'll be mostly gone if it stays beautiful and sunny like this. Come over here, you might get another shot at looking at the creek. This is clear at the back end of my clearing. I am going to have to go through and rehang my fence. If you can see that little black mesh, there you go, that'll show up against the sky. This is soft, but it does keep deer and elk and moose and everything out of the garden. But in a lot of places it's collapsed over the winter. The snow weight, brought it down, so I'm going to have to go around and rehang that if I want anything to grow without having my friendly wildlife eat it all off. And over here get a little more open shot down to the creek that is below my house that several of you have asked to see. That's the biggest rapid in it, created by a large boulder that's still too far into the snow to really see, but see there's a good bit of water and hear it moving. Anyway, that's pretty cool to have something like that close to my house. Here I'm walking back from the wild part of the woods into the little gate through to my clearing. And you can see smoke coming from the chimney. It was, you know, in the low 20s overnight, so it was chilly this morning. I'll probably let the fire burn out in the wood stove and not relight it till sometime late tonight. But that's what's going around my house on a beautiful sunny Easter morning. I hope you folks are all enjoying your weekend wherever you guys are. Oh, there goes a chipmunk. If you could pick them up, they're running through the snow piles. I do have quite a few of those little guys around. They're pretty cute. Back to the front door, and it's a beautiful sunny day. Folks, have a lovely day. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos. Enjoy your Easter. Bye for now.